Hello, everyone, and welcome to the finale episode of MSU Inside Out. It is our hour-long special for the 2022 fall semester. You might notice a little difference here at the host table. As always, I'm your co-host, Cole Clementich, and I'm joined by
Maya Smalls, filling in for Janie Wunderlich as she's in Florida right now. She is here in spirit. We do have her roll beef sweatshirts on. Cole, what can we expect for the show today?
Yeah, like I said, these are very nice sweaters from Janie, but Janie is here in spirit. Like I said, this is our finale episode, so it is the last show for our three seniors. Janie had her last show last week, but Dante and Hannah having their last shows here today. But a lot of great content for you guys today. We have the annual visits from the president and the athletic director. Maya, what else do we have?
We also have our first ever MSU's Got Talent winners, Tunes by Goons, and then we will be joined by Sebastian Gorison for an interview, as well as sports, and even more sports later on. But before we get to that, Kylie, we are joined by Kylie today for the news. It's good to see your face on camera this time.
Thanks, Maya.
What can we expect to see on campus?
Yeah, we have a few things to look forward to this week other than finals, and one of those is the Minot Symphony Orchestra. They are presenting a familiar Christmas classic that includes holiday favorites featuring music from the Nutcracker, the Polar Express, as well as Sleigh Ride and a Christmas Festival, and more. The Holiday Magic event will be held Saturday night at 7 in the Ann Nicole Nelson Hall. Minot State University Staff Senate is now accepting applications for the Staff Senate Scholarship. The Staff Senate Scholarship is given out each spring to an MSU classified employee or their immediate family who is continuing their education to meet their future career goals. Please visit the Staff Senate Scholarship webpage to learn more. Applications for the scholarship are due tomorrow at 4 p.m. Speaking of finals, if you need to de-stress, come and visit the dogs for pet therapy at the library Monday night from 7 to 9 p.m. Steve and Jennifer Shirley invite you to the annual campus holiday celebration. The event will take place on Tuesday from 1 to 3:30 in the Student Center Conference Center. And speaking of President Shirley, Cole has him here with an interview.
Yes, thank you so much there for the news update, Kylie. Be sure you guys take advantage of those opportunities for some care during finals week. But that being said, he is back for his annual visit on MSU Inside Out to address news and updates along with the current landscape on Minot State campus. Here to join us now, President Dr. Stephen Shirley. Thank you for being here today.
Cole, glad to be with you. It's always a highlight of the year here when I get a chance to come over and see you guys in action and see KMSU at its finest here today. So yes, happy to be here. Thank you.
Yes, we are very happy that you could be here with us. Thanks. But yeah, starting us off here, just kind of give us a whole roundup, the second full year after COVID. How did campus shape up this semester?
Yeah, we look back, that seems like sort of an interesting time frame there that we all lived through as a whole global society, quite honestly, and we got through it, and certainly from a standpoint of higher education, being able to deliver classes and just providing the whole academic experience here at Minot State with all the things that go on across campus, outside of the classroom, athletics, fine arts, all the student clubs and organizations, activities. We really missed those things for quite a period of time. And so to really be fully back now with what I would call, as normal of a year as we've had since 2018-19, I suppose, it's really nice to have everything back and just kind of a normal, the way things should be. And, there's still precautions to be made, and obviously there's still a lot of viral spread going on around as we see, some things going on with hospitals, and particularly with flu and RSV and COVID and some of these things we see. But gosh, it's nice to be in a normal state again from our standpoint, I imagine for you as a student as well.
Oh yeah, and you also mentioned a lot of new going on with the Hartnett Hall renovation project currently taking place as we speak, projected to be done in 2024. Obviously, students, they can kind of expect to be walking past a construction work zone. What else might students want to know about this new project?
Yeah, so a little over a year ago in the North Dakota legislature, in a special session that the legislature had in the fall of 2021, MSU was fortunate to receive a $25 million appropriation to completely renovate Hartnett Hall. And so we're very thankful to the legislature and to the governor's office for signing off on that. And so that that's, as we look at all of our academic buildings at Minot State University, most of them are in pretty good shape. Hartnett was really one of the ones that needed was probably in most need of needing some major upgrades and renovations. And so this appropriation, this $25 million is soup to nuts. Everything inside that building is being completely renovated. And so you're right. As of May of this year, May of 2022, that building was taken fully offline right after the end of the academic year. There was a lot of environmental, asbestos sort of remediation kinds of things that needed to happen early on. And now the real renovation work is underway and will continue to be so for the next year or so. And as you mentioned, our hope is to be back in Hartnett Hall in January of 2024. So it's offline all of this academic year and next fall semester as well. Knock on wood, hopefully that schedule maintains and we get in there in January of 2024. But just want to give KMSU and your professors and the students here kudos for being flexible. We're obviously in a different environment and we're not in the normal spot. And you can hear basketballs bouncing behind us in a gym next to us here and over in Swain here. But really looking forward to being back in a fully renovated, just like new building once it reopens.
Yeah, and I certainly echo that statement. I'm sure all of us can attest to that as well. And you guys, the audience watching, the big reason why we are in a temporary setup currently, but also moving on to some enrollment numbers, how do they look for campus, even particular for maybe some local high school students, and also add on to this new Hometown Pride Scholarship. It's been around for a bit. How has that turned out to be so far?
Yeah, we added, thanks for asking about that. We added the Hometown Pride Scholarship a little over a year ago, and so we kind of had 1 year of recruiting last year, and now we're into our second year with that. And the idea behind that was really to attract students from North Central and Northwestern North Dakota to look at Minot State and to consider Minot State. So those graduating seniors last year, this was an extra kind of incentive that we had financially. Most scholarships typically are based on need or on merit, those kinds of things. This one was really based on geography and trying to try to attract and retain more of those students from this part of the state to come to Minot State University, to select Minot State. And we saw increases. So we know that scholarship played an impact. We have a lot of donors and supporters who've stepped up to help fund that scholarship program. And so it's exciting. We've actually added a few more counties now to the Hometown Pride Scholarship this fall, and we also have now a Prairie Rose Scholarship, kind of along the I-94 corridor from Bismarck west to the Montana border. And so just really trying to, maybe some students have thought about Minot State and maybe given it a little consideration. Maybe that extra $1,000 carrot with that scholarship might give them a chance to think twice, take another look at MSU and take a look at our academic programs and encourage them to come to MSU. So it's been exciting, and we're looking forward to seeing how the numbers shake out once we get through year two of that.
Yeah, always got to be fun to be playing a part in the recruiting process because there's a lot of competition, obviously, around the country with colleges and schools. And like you said, you added on to the Hometown Pride Scholarship. Are there any other projects that may have been proposed as well? Is there anything fluid on that front?
Just as we look across campus, obviously one of our great assets is the Summer Theater. We had a great renovation project up there, and so we finished that project off here in the last year. We're gearing up now for a legislative session as a state agency, as a publicly supported university. Certainly the legislative process is an important one for us, and that will kick off here in January, and so we've got a lot of preparation work getting ready for that. The legislature, as you know, in North Dakota only meets every other year, so we're gearing up now for a legislative session here to kick off next month. So lots of moving parts and pieces going on with various aspects. We've added some new academic programs. We've seen some great growth in some programs that have been added here over the last couple of years in certain majors and disciplines. And so it's exciting to see the university just kind of continuing to evolve on a regular basis here as we continue marching forward.
Yeah, some more exciting stuff going on. And going to an administration front, new athletic director was hired this past summer. Talk about the process and the progression that has been made so far in that department. Yeah, we had a former director of athletics, Andy Carter, many of you know, was here for about 6 years, and Andy left last spring. And so we had a search during the spring and into the summer, and we're fortunate hired Mr. Kevin Forty, started with us in the middle of July. And Kevin, I think you're going to speak to here shortly in today's show. And Kevin hit the ground running. We had
plenty to keep him busy right when he got started here, and it's been a whirlwind, a busy, I know, first 6 months here for Kevin, and he's done a great job for us moving forward. We've got some coaching searches underway right now, and a new athletic program this fall with women's wrestling. So it's been exciting to see the launch and kind of the first official competitive season with women's wrestling, and some facilities kinds of things going on within athletics as well. So no shortage of things to keep Mr. Forty busy, and I'm sure he'll share more of that with you.
Yeah, absolutely. We are definitely looking forward to more of that. And we're just about out of time here, but talk about some new goals for MSU and where does the institution aim to succeed?
You know, again, I think the enrollment has been and continues to be a key priority for us. And that's true of not just all of our fellow sister and brother colleges and universities in the state of North Dakota, but the upper Midwest and frankly across the country. Enrollment is a challenge. There's some demographic issues that we're battling right now, and the numbers of high school students coming out and numbers of prospective students. And so I think it continues to be really important to make sure we have academic programs that are of interest to students, that are going to lead to career opportunities immediately once they finish with their university experience and so forth. So I think we're looking, you know, the other piece of the enrollment pie is making sure we have those academic programs that are going to continue to attract students to the university. And so we're taking a look at what those opportunities for potential new academic programs across campus are as well. We're always looking at those opportunities as well.
And we certainly wish you guys the best of luck in that. One last burning question for you. Any plans for the holidays?
Well, I hope to get away for a few days. I've got two young elementary age kids and my wife, and perhaps we'll do a short little, load up the family truckster and head off somewhere for a few days, and maybe try and get a little bit further to the south where it's a little bit warmer, but probably get away for a few days.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We're out of time here, but we appreciate you giving us a quick update there on Minot State Campus and all the other events going on.
Appreciate the opportunity. Thanks so much,
Yes,
Paul.
Thank you so much. And there you have it, folks, that you just heard President Dr. Stephen Shirley. Be sure to check out all that's going on in and around MSU. We're going to take it to a quick break, but before we do that here, folks, we're going to have Parker join us on the sports anchor desk. There's change coming to the MSU football team, plus hockey in Bismarck, and Trevin will be joined by a special guest from the newest Minot baseball team. Don't go anywhere. You are watching MSU Inside Out.
Thank you to all of our underwriters. Trinity Health is a comprehensive healthcare system based in Minot, North Dakota.
Fiance, with all your prom and bridal needs, located in downtown Minot.
KCJB 910 AM, Minot's news and information station.
Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports.
KIZZ FM Z94, playing today's hit music.
Mix 99.9, Minot's music mix.
SRT, offering a number of services including phone, TV, internet, and security.
KRRZ, 1390 AM, Minot's classic hits.
KZPR 105.3 FM, Minot's rock station.
East End, where the poor is worth so much more, located in downtown Minot.
Qdoba, easy, on time, full of flavor.
Nice Impressions, no job is too big or too small, located in downtown Minot.
MSU Beavers Hockey. Online info at msubeavers.com.
Forward Communication, connecting professionals in the Midwest.
El Azteca, authentic Mexican food on North Broadway near the airport.
MSU Theater Department, year-round entertainment.
Red and Green, MSU's student-run newspaper.
MSU Bookstore, for all your campus needs.
Minot Nutrition Addiction, offering healthy smoothies and meal replacements on the go.
H-Bar-B Construction for all your oil field needs.
Bears Cat Donuts, located on Broadway across from Minot State campus.
Welcome back from our underwriters break. We still have so much in store for you guys with John Armstrong joining us from the Hot Tots. But until then, Cole, what can we expect to see?
Yes, so big, massive changes happening this past week with the MSU football team and also men's hockey no longer undefeated. Parker, you have more on that for the story. What do you have for us?
Thanks, Cole. Undefeated no longer. The Minot State men's hockey team suffered their first loss of the season last Saturday. The Beavers lost 3-2 to the University of Mary Marauders after a 3-1 victory on Friday. Despite the loss, the Beavers are still ranked number 1 in the ACHA Division I men's hockey rankings. The Beavers will look to get back on track this weekend. They will be hosting the number 5 ranked University of Central Oklahoma Broncos in a 2-game series starting tomorrow. The Broncos are 18-2 and are coming off of a 2-game sweep of the University of Oklahoma Sooners last weekend. Both games will begin at 7:30, so be sure to show up to support the Beavers. The Minot State men's basketball team is starting to pick up momentum as their season gets rolling. The Beavers are 4-3 through their first 7 games this season. However, they have won 3 of their last 4 games by an average of 13 points. The Beavers' last game against Northern State University was a dominant 20-point victory for Minot State. The Beavers had 4 players score double digits and 3 players post near double-doubles. This weekend, the Beavers will be hosting 2 different opponents. They will be playing the 7-2 University of Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs tomorrow night at 7:30. There will be free Christmas sweatshirts for the first 150 fans at the game. They will also be playing the 5-3 St. Cloud University Huskies on Saturday at 5:30. Winning both games this weekend would help the Beavers jump up in the NSIC standings. Major changes are on the way for the Minot State University football program. It was announced on December 2nd that the university would not be renewing the contract of head coach Mike Aldrich. This marks the end of his 6-year tenure as the Beavers head coach, in which he had an overall record of 10-45. Minot State Athletic Director Kevin Forty has announced that defensive coordinator Lee Proshinsky has been named interim head coach until further notice. Whoever is named the next head coach will be the 23rd head coach in program history. The Beavers will be also looking to fill more coaching positions in the future, including offensive coordinator and offensive line coach. Cole, sad to see Mike Aldrich go. He was a big fan of our department, was always a gracious guest on Inside the Dam and our Saturday showdowns. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we're definitely going to miss him, Parker. He is just a great guy all around. I mean, being there for us and supporting the department, it's a big loss. And, we'll see what happens here in the near future. Saturday Showdown certainly will be back next year. And also the brand new series of the Inside the Dam will be back as well. But Parker, yeah, like you said, big loss. And we'll see where the university goes in that direction. By the way, I love the Mean Joe Green jersey. I'm no Steelers fan myself, but that's a nice setup there, Parker. But yeah, with that said, we're going to kick it off now to Trevin as the Minot Hot Tots just hired their brand new head coach, and they're also staying very busy at this time. Trevin, what do you have for us?
Yeah, thank you, Cole. So the new Northwoods League team here in Minot is set to kick off their first season in late May of 2023. Representing the Minot Hot Tots is Director of Ticket Sales and Assistant GM, John Armstrong. John, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so what is kind of the process when trying to brand and create merchandise for a new team?
Yeah, absolutely. So with our team, our mission statement is using fun to make a difference. So we definitely wanted something that was fun, unique, and different. And tater tot hot dish is a Midwest staple, especially in Minnesota, North Dakota here. So that part of it tied in for us, using fun to make a difference. It's fun and it's a different logo. So as far as merchandise, there's a lot of creative ways with the numerous logos we have that we can create fun and unique merchandise that's as unique and fun as our team.
Yeah, that's awesome. Personally love the Hot Tots. Just the logo in general. It's fantastic. But how have you personally been preparing to get fans excited and hopefully increase ticket sales?
Yeah, absolutely. So we were kind of in the last couple of weeks, we're all over the place in the newspaper, radio, TV, specifically about our 5-game membership, which is kind of the best way for fans to get out to our best games all summer. It's a great package. You get all you can eat food, you'll get a jersey and hat with your package, and the best seats at our best games. So that's definitely helped, and we've had great community support and meeting with businesses and sponsors. So it's been a great reception so far, and we're excited as we gear up and move closer to the season here.
Yeah, that sounds great. So I know the Northwoods, they like to keep fans engaged, especially in between innings. Is there anything special, like games that you guys have planned in between innings?
Yeah, absolutely. So for our team, we want it to be somewhere that anyone in Minot and the surrounding areas can have a great entertainment experience. So that means appealing to people that aren't necessarily baseball fans. So with that is our entertainment, having on-field games in between innings, really funny, unique walk-ups for players, and different kind of skits and stuff we can do. So definitely, trying to create the best entertainment experience for baseball fans and non-baseball fans.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's really important, just to keep the fans engaged, especially in between those innings. So what is the importance, do you think, of bringing in the Northwoods to Minot here? I
think it's a great thing for communities in North Dakota, especially. I know it's kind of an old saying, there's nothing to do around here. So kind of what we've done in Bismarck, we brought that down here, and with the Larks, our sister team, going into their 7th year, the community's been great in supporting that. They sold 98% of every ticket they had last year. So we think it's super important that the Taros do well here, and having that kind of summer activity where everyone in the community can enjoy themselves 36 nights out of the year.
Yeah, I agree. I'm really excited to go to some games. I'll be playing for that team as well, just so you know. So that's going to be really fun. So what are you most excited for about the upcoming season?
I think I'm most excited for just our first game, getting people in the stands and having people kind of experience what the Hot Tots are all about and Northwoods League baseball in general, and just bringing that to Minot.
So I heard that the schedule will be coming soon. Do you have a date of when it will be?
Yes. So I believe we're releasing the schedule kind of the public December 15th here, and so coming up here quick, middle of next week about.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much again. That was John Armstrong. He is the Director of Ticket Sales and Assistant GM of the new Northwoods team, the Minot Hot Tots. Thank you, and back to you, Cole, in the studio.
Yes, thank you so much, Trevor and Maya. I am so excited to be going to some baseball games this summer, I'll be honest.
I'm sure you are. Are you going to put them on your podcast?
Yes, I will be doing that. Those are in the works currently. So,
well, thank you again, Trevin. We are going to kick it to another Underwriters break, but before we do, don't go anywhere, because we will have Hannah joining us with weather and Kevin Forty joining us later on for an interview. Don't go anywhere. Once again, welcome back from the break. Hopefully you did not go anywhere because we do still have a lot to share with you guys. Cole, what can we expect to see?
Yeah, for this break now, we're going to be taking it off to Hannah. It was a little bit warmer today, kind of still on the chilly side a little bit, but you know, North Dakota weathers, they're always the same. But Hannah, giving us the weather report, what do you have?
Yeah, well, like you said, it was quite cold yesterday. We had some really cold wind chills, which you'd think we'd be used to in North Dakota by now, but for some reason every year it happens and I'm just not prepared to be hit with a gut punch with the cold air. But like you said, today was a little bit better. It was pretty warm out. I was able to go outside with just a sweatshirt. In fact, currently it's 18 degrees, which doesn't seem very warm, but again, with the past couple days, it's been feeling very nice. The high was 30 degrees, and the low today is 3 degrees, and it's still above zero, so I think that is something that we can definitely look forward to and be happy about as we kind of go into the rest of the year and get more into the winter months here. Looking at the whole state, we have on the western side, we have Williston at 14 degrees, Dickinson at 19, Minot 18, Bismarck 12, and then the eastern side, Grand Forks 12, and Fargo at 18. And so in the eastern side of the state, they're kind of looking more towards having a snowstorm later on next week, but hopefully it won't be too bad. Looking at the rest of the week for Minot, however, it looks to be pretty good. We have this weekend is going to be in the low 30s, high 20s. So still everything above zero, which is really something to look forward to. However, starting on Monday through the rest of next week, it looks like we're going to be also getting some snow here as well. Thankfully, it'll be mostly centralized in the southeastern part of the state. But knowing North Dakota, we're going to get those strong winds, we're going to get that snow, and unfortunately it is that time of year. So nothing that we haven't seen before, nothing that we aren't used to, but just something to start being prepared for, maybe going out Saturday, Sunday, getting all your outdoor activities done before you have to hunker down into your house for the next week. So these are kind of crappy looking weather, but we do have our co-host Janie, who like we said is not here today. She is on vacation in Florida, but she's also preparing to go to South Africa later next month after she graduates. She's going to be in Johannesburg, South America, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to give her a little taste about what she can look forward to while she's there. So it of course is in summer there in Johannesburg. So this is their average in January: 78 as a high and 58 as a low. Which, after seeing our week-long forecast, is kind of, that looks really, really good right now. In comparison, North Dakota's average is 19 and 3 degrees low in January. So definitely exciting news for her to be out of North Dakota and out of the Midwest for that cold weather. But something to look forward to. But thank you so much for being with me on my weather journey. This is my last weather forecast. So for the last time, this is Hannah, the weather womana, signing off. Cole or Maya?
No, you had it right the first time, Hannah. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much there, Hannah. That was her last weather report, but don't go anywhere because she will be back for more later. But with that being said, from athletic administration at the University of Mary to now making his Inside Out debut as the new director of athletics here at Minot State, joining us now, Kevin Forty. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. So your initial thoughts on your first semester on campus and your perspective on the athletic programs?
You know, that's interesting that you asked that question because yesterday I spent all day having one-on-ones with my staff and had those same kind of questions. How'd the first semester go, goods and bads, the positives and negatives, and we had a half an hour conversation with every administrator in the department, and there was a lot of good things going on. So we had a lot of activity going. My first 6 months, like Dr. Shirley said earlier today, it's been busy. We've had a lot of stuff happening, a lot of moving parts, and so far we've got things kind of moving in the right direction.
Yeah, that's very good to hear. A good start, certainly. So a lot went down in your first couple months. Brought in some new coaches, in particular for softball and baseball, amongst others. Take us through some of those early changes, the process.
Sure. So as soon as I got hired, I was actually at the Northern Sun Conference meetings this summer, and Kevin Harmon, who was the interim athletic director this past summer, gave me a call and said, "Hey, we're down to our finalists for our track and field, and so would you want to interview those two?" And so I took the time actually it was in Moorhead, and I Zoom interviewed with the two track and field candidates that were the finalists, and then I gave my recommendation to Kevin Harmon, and that's who they hired, Mr. Greg Swift in track and field. So then I got to campus shortly after that. That was the first time I got to campus, was a few weeks after that, and I talked to our soccer coach, a women's soccer coach, and he decided that he wanted to move into athletic administration, and the previous position he had down in Nebraska opened up, and he was taking that position and moving on. So then we named an interim soccer coach. TJ did a great job for us this year. And then shortly after that, baseball happened. Baseball decided that his wife was from St. Louis, and he wanted to move closer to their family because they had been gone for quite a few years. And so baseball changed hands as well. So we did all those searches in the first few weeks, really, of my arriving on campus. And I think we've got some really good ones. I know from the softball coach, the baseball coach, track and field. We hired John Lakaduck. He did a concession stand. He's something that most people wouldn't see, but it was a big role because he handled all the suites and all the concessions on every event we've had so far. So he's been a godsend because the first few weeks that I was on campus, I was also doing concessions. So I was back there popping popcorn and cooking hot dogs too. So I was doing a little bit of everything.
Nice, got to keep the audience fed during the games. But yeah, like you said, lots of changes happening. And as Parker mentioned earlier, with the football team now going in a new direction, what type of coach do you guys look to hire for the program, or where do you look to help boost this team as more change happens in the athletic department?
Sure, I think that the first thing we look for is just some energy. We want some, bring some new fresh perspectives to Minot State University. I think Coach Aldrich did a great job in his time here. It just unfortunately wasn't transitioning to make any different changes in the last couple of years. The trajectory we were headed was not the right way. So we needed to kind of, after long consideration, lots of conversations with many different people, it was time to make that move. So finding the new head coach is going to be hard. It's like I've kind of compared that to finding a spouse. You obviously the first thing you do is you look at the resume, you look at what they've done in the past, and that's kind of attracts you to that person. But then you got to look at the rest of it. You take a deep dive into their personality, what kind of program do they run, what kind of student athletes they're bringing in, how are they in the community, how are they on campus, and so there's a whole host of things that we evaluate when we're looking at hiring a new coach. So that's really, we want to do this quickly. We want to make sure we don't rush. We want to find the right person for Minot State University.
Oh yeah, because there's also a lot of competition for other open job opportunities there. But not only new coaches, but new athletic teams on campus. New this year is the women's wrestling program.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about this milestone as they get underway in their inaugural season and during the growth of the sport around the country.
Well, I think that women's wrestling is one of the fastest growing sports in the country, and I'm happy that we're part of the cutting edge of it. We're not behind the times. We're actually helping lead the change and the transition into the women's wrestling world. And North Dakota and this region is very strong in wrestling. Now, North Dakota last year was the first year they actually had sanctioned women's or girls wrestling in the high school, and we want to take advantage of those student athletes and give them an opportunity to compete at the next level. Brittany is doing a great job coaching. She's recruiting. She recruited a little bit last year and got a pretty solid number of girls on the team, and we got some very good young ladies that are doing well. But all the weight classes aren't filled, and that's first year you can't expect that. Next year her plan is to double the roster, to fill every spot and go out there and find some quality talent and competition for the people that we have on campus, but also make sure that we can find the right people, the right student athletes for us.
Yeah, sometimes, a first-year brand-new team might be a little bit of tough sledding, but, sometimes some good comes out of it in the end eventually. But in an email to all of Minot State, you mentioned a possible future facility renovations, in particular for the Dome, and Herb Parker. Just kind of touch on that, if you will.
Sure. I have a lot of different plans and ideas for the Dome. The Dome is a great facility. It was built in the late 70s, finished in the early 80s. I think it was finished in like 1980 or 1979, right around that time frame. Since that time, there hasn't been a whole lot of changes. There's been some changes. The bleachers, for example, the last 5 years have changed, and that's really changed the layout of the look of the Dome when you walk in. But if you look at the bowels of the building, the locker rooms, the weight room, the training room, none of that stuff has really been touched a whole lot, and that's something that I really want to really focus on. Is our student athletes, when they come in, they're out-facing facilities. They look the part. Our football stadium looks nice, soccer football stadium. The basketball arena looks nice where the basketball and the volleyball and the wrestling people compete at. But if you look at the other facilities that our student athletes are in on a daily basis, those could use a little upgrades, a little touch-ups. And so I got some plans in place. It's kind of a domino effect. One project leads to another, and I'm hoping to start that actually this next semester, where we're making some changes. Now I can't tell everybody what that is yet because nothing's been actually stamped and approved.
We'll keep quiet.
But we have some major things on tap that's going to affect every student athlete on campus.
Yeah, we'll certainly keep quiet on that there. But yeah, I totally forgot about the brand new turf at the Herb Parker. Talk about that whole process and how that came to be.
Sure. Well, the turf on a field usually lasts about 10 to 12 years. Well, that has passed its life expectancy, and so that need to be replaced. With help with the foundation, they secured a partnership to help pay for that, because that's a pretty good price tag when you replace a turf. It's not as much as building a turf field because of all the infill. That's pretty much already taken care of, the drainage. But the carpet that goes on top of it is not cheap necessarily to do. But having that done this summer was a big benefit. I think that old turf was gotten a little hard, got a little bit more like the floor that we're standing on than actually a grass surface. So this new turf has been beneficial to both the programs that use it, the football and the soccer.
Yeah, a lot of great games being played on that. Well, Mr. Forty, we're almost out of time, but going on to your vision for Minot State Athletics, where do you envision it as a whole plan or following your first year and beyond?
We're trying to build this program to be competitive in the Northern Sun in this region. I think this is one of the best conferences in the country and one of the best regions in all sports. I mean, we have national champions in most of our sports that we compete against, and we want to make sure that we're at that level. And it takes time to build that. I mean, some programs are closer than others to being consistently competitive for that conference championship. And if you compete for the conference, you compete for the region championship, you're going to compete for the national championship. So we're getting to that point. We're pushing our teams to that conference championship level because we know if we're at that level, we can win a national championship.
No, yeah, we're certainly looking forward to all the great competitive events going on here on campus. And I also got to ask, what are your plans for the holidays this time around?
Well, we do have, actually, this is a little unique for us. Most of the time we have events going on up to Christmas break, and then shortly after we have home basketball. This year we're a little bit light on events. So I'm originally from North Dakota, so I know Dr. Shirley talked about going south a little bit, and you guys just had the weather up about how nice it is in South Africa. I'm going to be in North Dakota. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be in the cold. I enjoy the 24 degree, the 19 degree. That's fine with me. So I'll spend some time with family and friends. I got some, my hometown, my original hometown is like 2 hours away, and my mom will never give up Christmas, and so we'll be at Christmas at her place. Always have. So that's where we'll be probably for a few days, but we'll be in Minot most of the time.
No, that's certainly awesome. And yeah, we've gotten pretty used to the North Dakota cold, and this is home essentially for some of us. So yeah, but that being said, thank you for making some time today and providing us some updates on the athletic world here at Minot State. So thank you.
Anytime.
Yeah, and there you have it, folks. That was the athletic director, the brand new athletic director of athletics for Minot State University, Kevin Forty, joins us today. Coming after the Underwriters break, we're going to have Parker back at the Sports Anchor segment. He's going to discuss some NFL schedules and also an exclusive interview. Hannah will be taking care of that. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this quick break.
welcome back yet again. Cole, you already had 2 great interviews with Dr. Shirley and Kevin Forty. I'm excited to see what we have for the rest of the show.
Yeah, most certainly. Like you said, there's a lot going on today, guys. Again, this is our hour-long finale special, our last show for some of our seniors. But moving on now, we got some NFL schedules. Parker is standing by. Parker, my team's not as good right now, so take it for what you will, I guess. Do whatever you want with them because I have no confidence. But what do you have for us?
I will get to the Broncos in a little bit, but first, the Minnesota Vikings are on pace for their best regular season in over 20 years. They currently sit at 10-2 through the first 13 weeks of the season. That is the second best record in the league, behind only the Philadelphia Eagles. The Vikings are led offensively by elite third-year wide receiver Justin Jefferson, who has single-handedly won them a couple games this season. Quarterback Kirk Cousins has also been playing well this year. He currently ranks in the top 10 in the NFL for passing yards and passing touchdowns. However, he has also thrown the 4th most interceptions this year in the league. The Vikings will be taking on the Detroit Lions this Sunday at noon in a high-stakes NFC North contest. Broncos country, let's ride. Or should I say, Broncos country, let's hide. The Denver Broncos currently have a 3-9 record through the first 13 weeks of the 2022 season. That record would give them the number 3 overall pick in this April's draft if they hadn't sent it to Seattle in the Russell Wilson trade last spring. The struggles this season have come mainly from the Broncos' inability to score points. They're averaging a league-low 13.8 points a game this season. Quarterback Russell Wilson is also on pace to throw the fewest touchdowns in a season in his entire career. He currently has only 8 passing touchdowns through the first 11 games he's played in this year. Offensive problems have not been their only struggle this year. The Broncos have a league-high 15 players on injured reserve. That includes 8 projected starters from the season's start. This week will not be easy for Denver when they host the 9-3 Kansas City Chiefs. The Green Bay Packers are fighting for the last wildcard playoff spot in the NFC. At 5-8, they are 3 games behind the number 7 seed Seattle Seahawks. The Packers have had some rookie players show promise this season, however, despite the poor record. Rookie wide receiver Christian Watson has burst onto the scene over the last 4 weeks. 7 of his 15 receptions in the last 4 games have been touchdowns. That brings his season touchdown total to 9, which is the most by any offensive rookie league-wide. Linebackers Quay Walker and Kingsley Enagbare have also stood out for the Packers this season. Walker has a team-leading 100 combined tackles and 2 forced fumbles. Enagbare has 2 sacks and 4 tackles for loss, which are 4th and 5th on the team respectively. The Packers are on their bye this week, and they will be hosting the Los Angeles Rams on December 19th. Cole, I know you're a Broncos fan. I'm sorry I had to do that to you.
It's fine. At least my fantasy team is good, and I just made the playoffs not too long ago. So, yeah, if Sam from Grand Forks, if you're watching this, and I'll say this to you, Parker, because Sam's also a Packers fan, there's a higher chance the Packers make the playoffs than Denver turns their offense around. So that's all I'll say. So it's not looking good for Denver right now, certainly. But, yeah, thank you there, Parker.
For those of you that don't know, we did have our first ever MSU's Got Talent, and standing by, we have Hannah with our talent show winners. Hannah, take it away.
Yes, as many of you know, the comm department has a lot of different events that we put on. Obviously, the TV show, we had the auction last year, and then about a month ago, we did the first annual Minot State has Got Talent. Wow. Anyway, I'm standing here with the winners, Evan, Connor, Jacob, and Braden. And so we're going to just talk a little bit about what the process was like being on the first Minot State's Got Talent, and then also a little bit about what it is like being in a band. So hello, guys. Hi. So really quickly, do you want to just walk me through what each of your majors is?
Sure. My name is Evan. I'm a music ed major. This is Connor. He is a business major. Jacob is an accounting major, and Braden is a computer science major.
Perfect. And so how long have you guys been in band before?
Well, Braden, Connor, and I have known each other for quite a few years, just been in symphonic bands together. And then once we got to Minot State, we met Jacob and had the grand idea of getting together and creating our own band.
All right. And so how did you guys come up with your name?
So originally it was just supposed to be the Goons until Evan came up to us and said, that's already taken by an old British talk show, I want to say it was.
Yeah.
So then it took like another week for us just to come up with the idea of just doing Tunes by Goons. But the other one was what? Goons Tunes?
Yeah.
But then we just decided Tunes by Goons just sounds better.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely catchy, so I applaud you for that. What was the process like being in Minot's Got Talent? Like, did you have to apply? Did you just wake up one day and say, wow, I really wish we were on a talent show?
Well, so we had got the group together, but we didn't really have any idea for gigs that we could do or like any performances. And then I just happened upon one of the posters and I looked at it and I just saw the big words cash prize. And I was like, well, gentlemen, I've got an idea. And so we reached out and we signed up and then we worked on the music and yeah, went and performed. It was really fun.
Okay, so you guys were the big winners. You won the $500 Shields gift card. What did you all spend it on?
Well, I can tell you what, I spent it on clothes mainly. You want to tell them what you and Braden got?
Braden and I, well, all four of us immediately flocked to the toy section where Braden and I picked up some Legos and some swords.
I didn't pick up Legos, actually. I was the responsible one and picked up Christmas presents.
Alongside Legos?
No, it was a sword. No Legos.
Because that's just better.
Oh, it's so much.
You want to talk about what you got, Jacob?
I got Legos, too. They were being responsible, and he got clothes, but I got Legos.
I think that's the most responsible option there.
Definitely priorities are in order. So I also applaud you on your guys' outfit choices today with the Santa hats. And then on the performance, you had some interesting wardrobe choices. Do you want to tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. So the whole idea behind it, if you didn't know, it was a maid costume that I wore with little cat ears that had bells on them. Anyways, it was originally an idea I had for Halloween, just for fun, because I was throwing a little party. And then while I was talking about it, you guys kind of were giving me a little crap about it. Yeah, you won't wear it. So then I wore it on Halloween day to campus. To my surprise, the only person who wore a costume. And then on top of that, there was another one where it was, you won't wear it to the performance. I was there.
Wonderful. And I feel like that might have been part of the reason why you guys won, just the confidence there. One last question before we wrap it up. Do you have any other gigs, real quick?
Not currently. We're in the process of getting a few set up, just reaching out around town. Would love to work with anybody for really anything. Just getting out there and playing for people is our main passion, so yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. This was Tunes by Goons, and as you heard, they are going to be planning on playing some gigs, so you can follow them on Instagram and follow along to see what they are going to be planning. Thank you so much, Maya.
Thank you, Hannah. It was great to see Tunes by Goons again. It was definitely fun to watch them during the talent show.
I'm going to have to follow them on Instagram.
They do follow our account on Instagram.
Oh,
so
that's true, yeah.
Thank you. After this, we are going to have Trevin with Sports in an interview with Dr. Sebastian Gorson. Don't go anywhere. You're watching MSU Inside Out.
I've been cheering since I was a freshman in high school. I coached for about 2 years. I was a head coach there. It's always been my life. I really love how involved all my teachers are, and they really care. I get a lot of real-world experience here. Public relations to me is all about helping an organization, a business, an individual be shed in a positive light. That's what it's all about. For the KMSU auction, we go around to businesses and we get donations. I got to auction off the packages on live TV. I loved everything about it. I can't tell you how much fun I had. I never knew what I was going to do, and I never had any passions. I have a broadcasting degree. I felt I was at home at school, and I finally felt I was on the right path, and I was actually going to like what I'm doing and be good at it.
Welcome back from our promo. As stated before, we do have an interview with Dr. Sebastian Gorson. But before we get into that, Cole, what do we have next?
Yes, Trevin has some regional sports updates, including the Minot Minotauros in their upcoming weekend series. Trevin, what do you have for us?
Yeah, Cole, thank you. The Minot Minotauros are currently sitting second in the Central Division, only behind the Austin Bruins. Last weekend, they took on the Bruins in a 2-game series. They lost both games, but still hold a 13-10 record. They have a series against the St. Cloud Norsemen this weekend. The Norsemen are 9-12, which is the worst in the Central Division. The games are taking place in St. Cloud. Be sure to catch the next home games on December 16th and 17th in the Mesa Arena. North Dakota State University is competing in the FCS quarterfinal game this weekend. This game marks the 13th consecutive season the NDSU has advanced to the quarterfinals of the Division I football championship. The number 3 ranked Bison will take on the 6th ranked Samford. NDSU is 42-3 all time during the playoffs. Head on down to the Fargo Dome this Friday, December 9th at 6 p.m. to watch the Bison in action. The University of North Dakota hockey is 6-8-3, following the season loss to 3rd ranked St. Cloud State. They take on Western Michigan this weekend with a chance to come out with a .500 record. These games will be played in Kalamazoo, Michigan. The next home games will be played January 6th and 7th, so be sure to head on down to Grand Forks. Like Parker said, the Minnesota Vikings are now 10-2 after another one-score win versus the Jets. This was the 8th time this year that they have won by only 1 score. This Sunday, they will be taking on the Detroit Lions in a Week 3 rematch. The Vikings took care of business the last time they played and look to continue their success. Only 5 weeks remain in the NFL season. The postseason hopes are still very much alive as they have a commanding lead in the NFC North. Now, Maya, I know you don't like sports or watch sports, but you have to admit there's some fun things going on in the region.
Yes, there is, and thank you for sharing that with me. Moving on, he is a University of Utah grad for his PhD and MSU communications professor all the way from Holland. Joining me today, we have Dr. Sebastian Gorson. How are you today?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for having me.
Good. Thank you for joining me. Although, sadly, I haven't gotten to take any of your classes yet. How are you enjoying your first year here at MSU?
It's been really great, yes. It's been quite a change of pace from what I've known before, but it's such a wonderful campus community, and it's been really welcoming during these first few months here. Now I just need to weather my first winter.
Yes. Last year we did have a big blizzard, but you missed out on it. So.
Yes, fortunately.
So your last home was in Salt Lake. While you're getting your PhD, how does that compare to the time that you've spent here?
That's a great question. I would say that the University of Utah is obviously a much larger university, so it's a very large campus, which made it very difficult to really get to know even the communication majors as much as I've been able to do during the 16 weeks I've been here. It's quite something to have the opportunity to put all majors in a room together, and that really makes, in my opinion, for a much more closely knit community, and it's been really wonderful to be a part of that.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're enjoying it so far. Coming from the University of Utah, obviously a very large campus, how is that compared to a smaller campus like the one you have here in Minot?
It's been nice to start recognizing people already and start to learn people's names. For as horrid as I may be at learning people's names early on, it's been really nice to see friendly faces and start getting acquainted with other faculty, with custodial staff, with students. It's been really nice to just feel as if I'm part of a campus community.
Has there been any sort of challenges that you've came across since being here?
The weather, I would say, not driving and walking everywhere is quite an ordeal when it's, what was it, -18 yesterday. It was quite frosty in the mornings, but I still have all fingers and toes. So fortunately, and hopefully I'll be able to last out the winter like that.
Yes. So winter break is coming up. I understand you are going home to Holland for the break. Do you have anything planned for your trip?
It'll be busy seeing family again. I haven't been able to go back since 2019, so it's been a while, and babies have been born and people have gotten married, and unfortunately I haven't been able to be part of that directly, so it'll be a lot of catching up to do, I imagine, in the weeks to come.
So is all your family back home in Holland, or are some of them in the US?
I'm the only one in the US. So they're all within 15 minutes of each other, so they quite dislike me being so far away.
I bet. You're gonna bring them a bunch of I love North Dakota shirts, right?
Oh, surely, and casserole recipes.
Yes. Lastly, coming back from your trip, what can students sort of expect for your class or your courses starting next semester?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm really looking forward to teaching some new classes. I'm teaching public speaking again, which I'm teaching right now, and that has been really fascinating to see students coming into the university for their first semester often as well. So seeing them grow, seeing them blossom, and contrasting that with some of my other classes who have students who are in their second, third, fourth year, who have come into their own much more. Seeing that progression has been really exciting, and I'm hopeful to see similar growth in the weeks to come.
Well, thank you so much for your time. We wish you safe travels back home over the break. Again, that was Dr. Sebastian Gorison, University of Utah grad and MSU Communications professor all the way from Holland. When we come back from after the break, we will be wrapping up the show. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back from the break. Sadly, this is our last show of the semester. Cole, as stressful as it was, I am very glad that I got to be a part of the host table today, and I couldn't have asked for a better crew.
Yeah, we have a great group, and very fortunate to work with you as well, Maya, and great crew as always. We thank the tech crew, the camera people, the professors. We thank all the on-air talent for making this semester a great one. We want to thank the 3 seniors that have had their last show today or last week: Janie, Hannah, Dante. We love you guys from the bottom of our hearts. Again, thank you to Janie for these awesome Roll Beeves sweaters. And yeah, we had a great show for you guys. You know, a lot of sports content from Parker and Trevin. Great interviews with Sebastian, with Kevin Forty, and Dr. Shirley as well. Nice segment from Hannah, and also a nice interview with the Tunes by Goons. Yes. And so much more happening, so much more going on. And Maya, any last thoughts before we send it off here?
Just want to say, Roll Beeves.
Roll Beeves. There you have it, folks. This has been our last show of the semester. We will be back after the Christmas break. You will see some familiar faces, but of course, certainly thank you last time to the 3 seniors that are leaving us. And thank you guys for watching all semester long. We will see you after the Christmas break. Until then.